lunch rush had barely begun when Emma tied her apron around her waist and hurried onto the restaurant floor. The little family-run diner wasn't fancy, but it was warm, busy, and full of regular customers who felt like neighbors. And Emma, soft-spoken, hard-working, and known for her gentle smile, was everyone's favorite waitress. But today felt different. The air was tense, the staff anxious, and the manager unusually alert. Word had quietly spread. A billionaire was in town, and not just any billionaire. Adrian Blackwood, the youngest tech mogul in the country, known for buying companies overnight and changing lives in minutes. No one knew what he looked like because he was famous for keeping a low profile. All they knew was that he had booked a table under a fake name, somewhere in the diner. Every customer suddenly seemed suspiciously important. Emma didn't care much about billionaires, she cared about people. And today her attention was pulled toward an elderly man sitting alone at the corner table. He struggled to lift his spoon. His hand trembled. His food grew cold as he kept trying and failing to bring the spoon to his mouth. Emma's heart tightened. She glanced at the manager for permission. He shook his head sharply. "Leave him," he whispered. "We don't have time, and he hasn't ordered enough to waste energy on." Emma ignored him. She walked over, knelt beside the elderly man, and spoke softly. "May I help you?" The old man looked embarrassed, almost apologetic. "My son, he usually helps me, but he's busy today." Emma didn't hesitate. She gently cut his food, cooled the spoon, and fed him slowly, patiently, like she would for her own father. She wiped his chin, asked about his day, and kept him company so he wouldn't feel alone. Customers watched. Some smiled, some whispered. The manager fumed. And at a table by the window, hidden behind a newspaper, a pair of sharp eyes watched everything. Adrian Blackwood had just witnessed the waitress treat his father, not like a burden, but like a human being worthy of dignity. He had come secretly to test the diner's service. He hadn't expected to find his father crying quietly, or a waitress holding his hand, or a moment that would shatter his assumptions forever. He lowered the newspaper, and Emma's life was about to change in ways she could never imagine. The tiny family-owned diner on Oak Ridge Street was unusually quiet that chilly Tuesday afternoon. Soft jazz hummed from the old speakers, sunlight spilled through the foggy windows, and only 3 customers sat scattered across the room. Among them was an elderly man in a wheelchair, thin, frail, and trembling slightly as he tried to hold a spoon. His name was Samuel Carter, but most people didn't know that. They only knew him as the silent old man who visits every Tuesday. What no one realized was that he was the father of Ethan Carter, one of the most influential billionaires in the country, and the owner of a massive corporate empire. Samuel came to the diner alone every week. It was the only place that reminded him of his late wife, who adored their blueberry pancakes. But recently, Parkinson's had made even the simplest tasks nearly impossible, including eating. Today he struggled more than ever. The spoon slipped from his shaking hand and clattered onto the table. Soup spilled onto his shirt and his eyes filled with embarrassment. At the other end of the diner, a young waitress named Maya Lopez noticed everything. Maya had only been working at the diner for 2 months. She was barely managing life, juggling 2 jobs, paying for her mother's medical bills, and trying to stay afloat. But despite her own hardships, she carried a kindness that most people couldn't fake. When she saw the trembling old man trying desperately to clean himself, she didn't hesitate. She quietly walked over, kneeled beside him, and gently pressed a napkin to the stain on his shirt. "It's okay, sir," she said softly. "Let me help you." Samuel blinked in surprise. Most people avoided him, some pitied him, others simply ignored him, but she didn't. Maya carefully picked up the spoon, stirred the soup, and lifted it toward him. "Only if you're comfortable," she whispered. The old man nodded, relief flooding his tired eyes. What neither of them knew was that someone else had just walked into the diner, quietly, unnoticed, and was watching the scene unfold with complete shock. It was Ethan Carter, the billionaire son who had just returned from a business trip. And for the first time he saw something he never expected. A stranger showing more love and patience to his father than he himself had in years. His world stopped. His heart tightened. And it was only the beginning. The next morning, the entire restaurant buzzed with an odd mixture of curiosity and excitement. Word had spread that the billionaire, Ethan Hale, was coming back. and he had asked for Maya by name. Some workers whispered that she was in trouble. Others said she was about to be rewarded. Maya simply felt sick with anxiety. She stood behind the counter, twisting her fingers nervously, expecting the worst. Maybe she had overstepped. Maybe she had embarrassed his father. Maybe she had been too familiar. Her mind spun faster than her heartbeat. Then the doors opened. Ethan entered, not with his usual cold business presence, but with a softness on his face Maya hadn't seen before. Behind him was his father, Mr. Hale, in his wheelchair, looking neatly dressed, energized, almost cheerful. "Maya," Ethan said gently, "may we talk?" Her heart dropped. "Of course, sir." He motioned her to sit, but Maya remained standing, afraid that sitting would make her seem too comfortable. Ethan sighed with a faint smile. "Relax. You're not in trouble." His father chuckled. "If anything, my dear, you might be the only person who has treated me like a human being in months." Maya blinked, stunned. Ethan leaned forward. "My father hasn't allowed anyone to help him since his stroke. He shuts everyone out. Nurses, caregivers, even family. Yesterday was the first time in almost a year he let someone feed him without argument." His voice softened. "That someone was you." Maya swallowed hard. I just did what anyone would do." "No," Ethan replied firmly. "Most people don't sit on the floor beside a stranger, talk to him like a friend, and serve him with the kind of patience you did." Mr. Hale nodded. "You reminded me of my wife. She was gentle like you. She believed kindness could fix anything." Maya's eyes filled with tears. Ethan took a slow breath, as if making a difficult but meaningful decision. "Maya, I'd like to offer you something. A position as my father's personal caregiver. Full-time, with training, housing, a salary far better than anything here." Maya gasped. "What? Me?" "You earned it," Mr. Hale said warmly. "You gave me dignity. Let me give you a future." For the first time in years, Maya felt hope spreading inside her. Bright, overwhelming, real. She nodded slowly, tears slipping down her cheeks. "I accept." The billionaire smiled. "Good, your life is about to change.